herb in my brain. So bring the medication for my brain to heal the whole of the nation from the pain and break up all the circles and the chains. I need some meditation in my brain. So bring the medication for my brain to heal the whole of the nation from the pain. Break up all the circles and the chain. Hey, no, this could never be no man killer. Good for my head, so me call it as the man healer. When me ill, you know me never need a painkiller. It's quite exciting, me call it as the man chiller. Give me good man, so me no think illa. What a inspiration, fit on a sound killer. For the pagan, me spark it like a 9 miller. Fi fight the liquor and the coke, ganja and the pillar. That's why me need some herb in my brain. So bring
Howdy, again, brothers and sisters and cousins of the other races who support our struggle for economic equality with the other races. Welcome to another episode of the Black Economic Network channel. This is a special video to celebrate the third anniversary of the channel, which we started in August of 2021 to coincide with Emancipation Month to mark the end of chain slavery in the British colonies. Wage slavery continues to keep most African people poor, the so-called black people poor in the British and in Britain and Europe and North America, and the neo-colonies in Africa and the Caribbean and Latin America. In this video, we will highlight the main contents, the main videos that we did in this year, 2024, from August of last year to this year. And I want to say thanks for supporting the channel, and please continue to support it. It's growing little by little, but it is growing, and please continue to support the channel by viewing it, and especially to subscribe and share it with your contacts. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Greetings, I'm Sedella.
And I'm Skip Marley, and we stand for racial justice.
Every time.
We're sick and tired of the isms, schism, and dying over heaven in Jesus' name, Lord. We know and we understand Almighty God is a living man. You can fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool all the people all the time. Now you see the light. Stand up for your rights. Come on, get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Preacher man, don't tell me heaven is under the earth. I know you don't know what life is really worth. It's not all that glitters is gold. Half that story has never been told. Now you see the light. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights.
So we know about the contribution of reggae music to the individual performers and people who are associated with them, musicians and so on. But the big part of it, I don't know what percentage, but I know a big part. It's the other races, just like in sports and entertainment. Basically, the Afrikan race, probably the leading race in the world in terms of doing the work, being the workers, but the business side of it controlled by the other races. And in Jamaica, in the United States, in Europe, the business side of these things, entertainment and sports, controlled by other races. We need to. It is changing, but very slowly, and we need to change it. For example, well, let me before for example, the richest Jamaicans are in 20 families, and they are mostly white Jamaicans and mulattoes who inherited the plantation and wealth from and other resources from their parents. One of the most well-known, if not the most well-known, reggae promoter and owner of a label from the early days of the Wailers is owned by a white Jamaican who had the Marley family in court up to a few years ago to prevent them from even using the Bob Marley name. The richest Jamaicans, 20 richest families, also white Jamaicans and mulattoes, who inherit plantation and the wealth from their parents. But the contribution of the Rastas has been greater. Well, not only them, the small African people, small black people in Jamaica, whether small farmers or traders or carpenters or tradespeople, are the people who have contributed most to the wealth staying, the little wealth, the incomes that have stayed in Jamaica. Most of the things from slavery time, the plantations and the bauxite and the other things, they remain, they were owned, they are owned by foreigners, and the income and the wealth stays abroad in Europe and in mainly Europe and North America, and it's the pittance pretty much that has come to Jamaica and stayed in Jamaica from those enterprises. The other thing that the Rastas have contributed is from income from ganja, the exporting of ganja. In the I'm going to say in the 70s and 80s, 90s, and even up to the early 2000s, the ganja income from ganja that came into Jamaica. I'm talking about Jamaica. I know about Jamaica. Has been substantial and has helped in the Jamaican economy a lot. Houses, and when the ganja dried up, then the building of many of the construction and houses and so on. You go to Jamaica, you can see it. Houses, unfinished houses, when the ganja income, when mainly the United States was successful in drying up the ganja income. The producers, small farmers and small ganja producers, and ganja production and Rasta generally in Jamaica, it's a small percentage, I should have said this. the focus of this video will be on encouraging black people in Africa and in the diaspora to produce more food, at least to the level of our basic food needs. Since the war started, since Russia attacked Ukraine a few months ago, I have been commenting on this need, and I would encourage you to go and look back at some of the more recent videos where I commented on a number of related issues to achieving basic food, producing enough for our basic food needs. In this particular video, I will show segments with examples of the different kinds of things that we can produce in the countries where we are the majority or we are significant minorities, and in communities where we live, so that we reduce our dependence on the other races, particularly the old colonizers in Europe and North America, and the new colonizer, mainly China. Whoever controls your food supply can control you, and especially in the case of China, I will show a slide that mentions what China is doing in genetic engineering to develop certain biological weapons, let's call them biological weapons, that are specific to different racial groups. And we know what has been happening in Africa and in the diaspora, where black people are the majority. I want to suggest one of the things. I was talking with my good friend in Jamaica who makes so much input to these videos, but he doesn't want to come on camera. I invited him several times, but he doesn't want to come on camera. And one of the things he suggested recently, we're talking, that the sugarcane lands that are lying, a lot of them just lying idle in Jamaica, or are being used to develop housing schemes. The current government, the current Republican government in Jamaica, is giving the lands, or I don't know what arrangement they have with developers, and the good agricultural lands with irrigation being used for housing schemes, to develop housing schemes. And those lands could be used, again, can be leased to small farmers. Some that was started and was being done years ago in the 80s and 90s, during the time when the Jamaica Democratic Party, led by Michael Manley started that land lease program, and Jamaica produced more food than we was necessary for our basic food needs, including onions and some other things that they claimed Jamaica couldn't produce. So can be done. And one particular, the focus I think should be on short-term crops and small livestock.
Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your contacts. Thank you.
Greetings again, brothers and sisters and cousins of the other races who support our struggle for economic equality with the other races. I realize that most of us who migrate from countries where we are the majority do not fully understand or know what it is like to grow up and live in a country where you are the minority, in a country that is practicing racism against you, and you are a minority. The next segment is an Afrikan-American lady. I don't know her name. I would be glad if somebody would make a comment or something so I know her name for a future mention. But she talks about the way certain Africans from Africa, continental Africans in particular, she mentioned Nigerians. You will hear the video. Criticizing African Americans that they don't make use of opportunities, and if they come here, what they can do and what they would do and so on. Now, I will say this, that there are many opportunities that people who are born here, African Americans, do not take advantage, make use of these opportunities, and the other races, particularly when it comes to education and opportunities in business, the other races, they take more advantage of it. Now, but the bashing, I'm going to use the word bashing, of African Americans, I think that's a mistake. The African Americans, among all other diasporan Africans, and even among continental Africans, I think the African Americans has a key role to play in the upliftment of the entire African race. And that's why Marcus Garvey, I think as early as Marcus Garvey, he recognized it and he came to USA, and this is where his movement grew and had millions of followers. And even recently, I'm going to say about 2 years ago, in Ghana, I saw a chief in Ghana who was talking about the importance of African Americans among the diasporans because of a number of things. And in my videos, I always talk about their experience. People talk about their education and financial and so on, and that is very important. But one of the most important things I find is they are not afraid of white people. They have been living with white people and struggling and have won great victories, particularly with the civil rights movement and the Black Power movement in general. I think the weakest part is in the struggle for economic equality with the other races. The other thing is that people who migrate to another country are usually the more ambitious people from the other countries, and the national, a person born and you grow in the country, you look at things in a different way. And I think we have to realize this, but the contribution of the African American is, I think it's so important, has been and will continue to be the key group of people in uplifting the entire African race outside of Africa and in Africa. And uplifting the entire race. We have seen it in our lifetime with the Chinese, what is happening with the Chinese, what has happened and what is happening with the Chinese, to the point now that they seem like they are bent on colonizing Africa. We know, I grew up in Jamaica, and I've seen how different races, and particularly Chinese, treat black people. In Jamaica, in all races, there are people, cousins, who will help you, who are supportive of your struggle. You will have to play the leading role, but you do have cousins in the other races who will play very important roles in your development, in your upliftment. And I know this from personal experience, as well as from a wider perspective. So let's hear what the sister has to say in the segment that is coming up. I may have to do it in 2 parts, but let's see what happens. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Why your black ass would be able to come over to America and be able to do anything is because of the hard work, the blood, the sweat, the fighting, and the dedication of African Americans who on this soil changed this land. African Americans are the ones who got this country integrated. Let me explain something to you. White people in this country did not give us anything. We have had to take. And this is why you see what is going on in the news and the media right now. We took in the 1960s what it is that we had. We took their lynchings, their terrorizing, their burning down of our neighborhoods, and we continue to rebuild and revisit and retwist and re-rise up what it is that we have done in this country. And the only reason why anybody can bring their black ass over here from another mother effing country is because what black Americans have done on this land. And I'm saying this as a person who is bicultural, whose father is not American, doggone it. My father is an immigrant, and he was able to come and do something in this country because of the black people who fought, who died, who bled, who were lynched on this land. So don't sit your black ass over there in some other goddamn country talking about what you would do in America. The only reason why your black ass could even get the F over here is because of what we have done. Doggone it. Listen to what it is that I'm saying. The reason why people are able to get onto the radios in America is because what black Americans have done, the culture that we have created with nothing. Nothing. We have been given nothing. Everything that we have in this country, we have because we have taken. Listen to what it is that I'm saying. So don't sit your black ass over there in your country where you're not doing what you need to do with your government. If anything, you should feel inspired by African Americans, inspired to pick up your picket sign and take your ass off your seat and go out there in the streets and protest in your damn land.
Hold on, know that it's time to be strong. Let's all believe in the future. Together we can move on. Raise up your voice and be heard. Calling every generation, all over together.
Welcome again, brothers and sisters, to another episode of the Black Economic Network channel. The highlight of this episode is that we need an Afrikan and Diasporan owned internet. And the main focus is I'm asking for your help and your involvement in this crusade for the Afrikan and Diasporan web. In this age of information, this information age, then the internet is so important, and we need to own an internet platform for ourselves. One of the leading inventors of high-speed internet is Dr. Mensah, a Ghanaian engineer who works and does business both in the USA and in Africa. Most of us at present use Facebook and YouTube to spread our message. However, and people in Africa, like Brother Woodmeyer and Miss Trudy and Miss Traveling Sister, to name a few, they can switch to a social media platform on the ADDI web when it is planted. There are other people in many countries in the diaspora who are in a similar situation in the Caribbean and in the Americas. But these companies are all owned by people of other races who can cut us off if they if the message that we are spreading, it is getting too serious and they don't like it, and they can either cut us off completely or selectively. And it is up to us we need to have our own internet information, means of spreading information. And I will just mention that the invention of the printing press was a major thing in the Industrial Revolution that played a major role in the abolition of slavery. Of course, the struggle of African people, African slaves, and their cousins, brothers and sisters and cousins from the other race who supported their fight for freedom. They helped a lot, but the main thing was the struggle of the people, the rebellion and the fighting of the African people. And they got help from their cousins in the other races. And the printing press, the information, starting with just pamphlets, played a major role. Today, information is still important. Even more important, this is the information age. And we need to have our own internet platform. And on that, we can have the social media platforms and websites and so on. We need to have at least one, starting small, like growing a mango tree. We plant the seed and it grows over time, gets bigger and bigger. And that is crucial and so important.
You see, if you're comparing with Nigeria, listen to this. Nigeria has oil before than Dubai. It's a history. They are more rich than us. They have agriculture, they have mining, they have everything, you name it, they have it. Am I right or wrong?
This video of a street interview with a UAE citizen has gone viral in Nigeria, sparking debates about our leadership. In the video, the tourist from UAE, while explaining why Dubai is so successful, attributed it to good leadership, which he says Nigeria lacks.
When you have a true leadership, which we have nothing, but we have everything because we have the right leadership.
Let us all unite and celebrate together the victories won for our liberation. Let us dedicate ourselves to rise together to defend our liberty and unity. Oh, sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sky and flesh of the sky, let us make Africa the tree of life.
Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel and share it with your contacts. Thank you.